Hey water signs, welcome to your October reading. I am doing it as water, earth, fire, collective signs. However, I'm doing the individual reading. So I'm starting with Cancer. Check the description below if you would like to skip to your sign. I will put the timestamp so you can fast forward to it. So Cancer, I'm using Archangel Michael. They're the only deck of cards that I have that are not packed away because I am moving, which is why I'm doing it like this, just to save myself time on recording and uploading. I decided to do it this way for this month as I am moving and it's very stressful. So I hope you don't mind that we're doing it as a collective. So Cancer, the very first card is use your imagination and you'll see the answer. So I basically get this kind of feeling as though you are kind of impatiently wanting things to start showing. Now, I do feel like October, generally, we're going to start seeing things really start coming into play. However, I feel like as a sign, you guys are being asked to kind of realize that everything is not black and white. So if you are expecting a black and white, like it's like this, I wanted it like this, that's how it's going to go, it's not going to happen that way. And the reason is I feel as though maybe you're committed to some things being a certain way, and that's the only way that you'll be happy. This is just a thought process. This is not reality. This is not true. However, when a thought process goes, I'll only be happy if that happens. Now, I feel as though you need to use your imagination and get creative with outcomes, get creative with how others are expressing themselves, I kind of want to say, because if you are expecting people to be anything. I mean, if you have expectations of anything, I feel as though this may be challenged during this time because you are invited to be more creative with the way with the way people are, realizing that we're in an era where we are being pushed and urged towards being our best self, to being our most authentic self. That means that we are not only us, like personally we're being challenged, but people are being challenged. So everybody in our lives are being challenged. People in our day-to-day or people that we meet are being challenged to be authentic, to start showing up, to not allow other things to align with them. And so we are all kind of in this big chaos of things changing, which has negatives as well as it has positives. But the outcome is positive for the masses, meaning that we all get to live more authentic and free and accepting. And this comes with challenges of us having to accept that what's comfortable to us is not necessarily the way it's going to always be. Because again, everybody is being more authentic. I just kind of get the need to say that to you guys. The next card is this situation is already resolved, which means I do feel as though your outcome, this card can say that, there's a favorable outcome and it's in play. But again, with these two cards, you have use your imagination and you'll see the answer. The situation's already resolved. That as a sentence is like, hey, you're on the right path. Things are going the way that they should, but it might not be the way that you thought originally. So that's good food for thought. Now you have four cards. Okay, literally four cards in a row, which are you're on the right path and there's a favorable outcome, right? So you have this situation, it's already resolved. It's like you're on the right path. It's already resolved, right? God is in charge. It's reverse. It wants you to pay attention to that one, which means what will be, what is, what it is. This is meant to happen. All of those cliche little phrases come in this one. God is in charge. So it's like release yourself to the process, let go of any worries. And all of these cards say let go of any worries and concerns you have because things are going the way they should. You have this is your life's purpose. You're on the right path. This is your life purpose. It's meant to happen again. Same sort of cards. And then you have a favorable outcome, which is you're on the right path because there's a favorable outcome, right? All of these cards are saying the same thing. Like I feel like let's just move on to the next people because your reading is saying you're on the right path. So God is in charge is literally releasing yourself of any worries. And the same with the situation is already resolved. It's releasing yourselves of worries and stresses and concerns around your situation, especially if, again, it's not going the way you thought it would or that it should. It's time to stop again being that black and white era and realizing that everything is rainbow, everything is a spectrum, which means there's a mass of possibilities and all of them can lead to a really favorable outcome. It doesn't have to be one way to get you there. So releasing your commitment, releasing your It's like committed to an outcome, releasing your firm belief that something should be the way that it is. So releasing that and allowing yourself again to flow. Now, I have been kind of more leaning towards the advisement of people not just going with the flow, being action in and putting things forward. But I get this sense for you, Cancer. It is about more learning how to flow more. You are a naturally intuitive sign and naturally you do flow. But I feel like, again, with the astrology we have all had for the last 2-3 years, it has made us really go against our natural essence. I feel like it's because we're all meant to break a certain part of ourselves. We can't break, but I'm using these terms to make sense of what I'm saying. It's like we had to break down the values, break down everything that we once knew in order for us actually to reassess these things that we thought we knew that we have learned but were wrong, and break all of those things down to the core. So we're coming from a raw, vulnerable space to rebuild. And I don't think we're rebuilding because it's there already, but I'm saying these words and terms that make it make more sense in how I'm explaining. It's like rebuilding things again in an authentic space. This is your life's purpose, paired with God is in charge. It's like this is supposed to happen. This is meant to happen. And the astrology has made it so. Again, astrology works in cycles, it repeats. And we've come back to this time where things are repeating for us to evolve again to our next level, right? We evolved the last time a lot of this astrology showed. And now, I mean, if you're interested in that, go check it out. I'm not here to give you a lesson. But now we're here again on these cycles to reset, to grow as evolutionary beings, right? And this is your purpose. Now, there is a lot of concerns and stresses and worries with this. I feel a lot of resistance from you, Cancer. So that's something to be mindful if you are feeling resistant. But I want you to take note of the favorable outcome from this. It's your life's purpose. If it's your life's purpose, it's leading you towards the good stuff. So I've got a bird scratch on my head, and it's really obvious. I went to Killarney Fall, Queen Mary Falls in Killarney in Queensland, and I had all the birds. I had a bird on my hand, and I had food in my hands, and I had birds on my arms and my shoulders, and the one in my head slipped, and it had a claw in my eye and then on my head. So I have like scratches on my head. I have them all over my wrists. It was a good day though. I felt like the bird queen. And I used to be scared of things flying around my head, but I actually really enjoyed it. It was fun. I do think that you should definitely go there one day and get bird food just so you can experience all these really awesome, colourful birds landing on you. I need to upload a few of the pictures actually. Lean on God and the angels for support means that it could be challenging for you during this time. So have faith and lean on your support system in terms of your spirit guides, your spirit team, whatever your faith and religion belief system is. We do not discriminate in this space. Everybody has their own journey. This is saying lean on that support, like pray, meditate, whatever it is that's your system of connecting with the divine. That would be something to help get you through the struggles. You and your loved ones are safe. Means that, again, you are protected through this endeavor, which a lot of those cards that I just mentioned also are saying. All of this is saying that you are guarded and protected through this. So again, you can release a lot of that stress. And I feel this need to do this on my shoulders. Like, when you're stressed and you get pent up, that's what I feel like. It's like release the stress is your guidance. It's getting very dark. I chose to do this last video so that I can be done with the videos of this month. The next card is you've created this situation. You have the power to change it. And this is it. I feel like you really are manipulating your life right now, which is what we want. It's not a negative manipulation. You are crafting it into the way that you want it. But you have to realize your power in a situation and realize that you are creating it the way it is. So if something is stressful, you being stressful is making it stressful. If you find your peace and reconnect with yourself, it's going to be a lot easier to process through something. It's going to make it less stressful, right? So that's something to be mindful of. I wish I'd have put a light on before I started recording. It's getting really dark. Anyway, you're definitely creating something really positive. I'm getting that same sense as up here use your imagination, you'll see the answer. Being very similar to this. It's like if you use your imagination, you'll see the answers of how you can create. I do feel like it is a time where you're perhaps feeling more inspired as well. The positive side to all of this, I feel like it's re-sparking that part of yourself that again you may have felt that you've lost, coming back to the surface. I feel this re-spark of, again, imagination, creation, that then helps again in turn drive us. Honor your thoughts and feelings. You're Cancer. You should always be honoring your feelings and trust your feelings. Honor and trust your feelings, sorry. You should always be doing that. They are your intuition. They are your guidance. Again, like the life's purpose, these cards are very similar. If you see, they hold things dear to their chest. I would say that this is, again, trusting what you value most. Let that be what leads you in where you want to go. So if you are thinking, where do I want to be? What decisions do I need to make? It's just think about, what do I value? Where do I want to be? What do I want my life to look like in a year's time? These are the kind of thoughts I feel like should be beginning in you. Typically, we're leading up to New Year now, Christmas and New Year, so these little thoughts will begin bubbling in you. Being one of the signs, actually all of the water signs, I feel begin these processes earlier because you're more in tune to the natural cycles of the energy of the earth, right? And we're coming up to that time now where we're going to start thinking about New Year's resolutions and where do I want to go? Where am I going next year? What needs to change? What don't I like? All of these things I feel will start bubbling you. Again, for a reason, use that energy. Let it help move you. Admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. As soon as I read that, as soon as I glanced at that card, I got admit where you are limiting yourself. What's limiting you right now? Admit that and act upon it. Change it. Something needs to shift and change for October. It's been in a few signs, so check your sun, moon, and rising in case this also come up and it's exaggerated for you because a couple of your signs have got it. Of needing to admit something that needs to shift and change in you. And it could literally, again, be a limiting belief. Like I said before, there's limiting beliefs that are potentially keeping us in a stressful situation, that if we just allow ourselves to drop that belief system, drop that way of thinking, we would be already in a better position, never mind all of that ripple effect into our lives. This lighting is absolutely terrible. Why did I not put the light on? Prayer will help you with this situation. So again, just like your reading kind of repeated itself to keep expressing the same thing, this is lean on your guardian angels for support is the same as this. Prayer will help you with this situation. So whatever your method of, again, connecting with the divine, I say do that. If it's doing a personal reading, do that. Get a reading done. Go pray, speak to your spiritual team, whether they're human or not. You know what I'm saying? Connect in the way. I feel like going within and connecting with your intuition is the way for you moving forward. To me, this is saying that there's a lot of internal growth going through you at the moment, and that's where your attention is needed, really, for the most part. It's about changing the way you're thinking, the way you're doing things, but understanding that, again, flow. There's not a lot of action here other than acting accordingly. And to me, this is not, going out and making big decisions in everyday to-day life. This is very personal to the self. It's making the right choices for yourself and making the right changes. I'm going to say that again, changes, again, to help with your situation. But again, you're on the right path. It's all going to be good. What you're going through is happening for a reason. It's finding that reason. Thank you so much for being here, Cancer. That was a pretty straightforward reading, and I do like it. It's quite nice. Thank you for being here. Please comment below if you have any questions or just would like to comment on your reading. Thank you so much. Now we are moving on to Scorpio. So Scorpio, let's have a look. What's in store for you? Definitely done a lot of talking today. We're doing my readings. 2 cards there. Okay. And that one. That one. So we begin your reading, Scorpio, with explore your options. This next card after that is Shield Yourself. Now I get this sense of not really rushing into anything. Actually, I'm just going to put a light on. I'm sorry that I'm going to keep running because I don't want to edit the video. Because that defeats the whole purpose of this. There we go. Just going to put the light on so that you can see me because the sun is setting. The lighting is still terrible. It's like literally directly above me, but it's better than it was. Okay, anyway. Explore your options and shield yourself. I do get this sense when I read this straight up. It's not what these cards mean, but I got not rushing into something. So keep that guidance in your mindset. This lighting is absolutely terrible. It's like washing me out. Not going to look at myself. Okay, those angel wings are really standing out to me. I feel like trust in your spirit team. You're really guided. We want movement, but we want you not to rush into something, but we want movement. That's what I feel like with these wings. Now, don't you be fighting, kitty cats. I don't know, I've got nothing to throw at you to stop you biting each other. I've got my cats at home. Obviously, they like to play. With this explore your options, I'm kind of getting there are opportunities ahead revealing themselves to you right now. Now you need to realize with this shield yourself that get off, bloody cats, all the interruptions now. You need to realize that with some opportunities they're not meant for you. If it gives you a negative feel, you need to be kind of putting up your walls and be like, no, I'm not accepting that, and realizing that you have many options, so you don't need to jump into the first ones that are revealed to you. And actually, I would say that any that came up impulsively, because I got this desire to not rush into something, I'd say that the first options are probably not the best options. So again, wait and explore your options because there are more than one. And I feel like, again, opportunities comes. It's like there's going to be a few opportunities. You don't have to just accept the one that came to you. This lighting is terrible. Oh my god. I can't change it now. Shield yourself also can indicate protecting yourself from outside energy that, let me grab this cat, that's like comes from people gossiping, again, wrong opinions, of like anything that might negatively impact your mind. This card says shield yourself from that. Sorry about all the interruptions, Scorpio. Like, what's going on? It's crazy. Freaking cats. I can see Oracle eyeing him up. It's Oracle trying to eat and hump Taro, bless him. You and your loved ones are safe. This is saying to release your stresses. You're protected, you're safe. There's no worries there. So if you have been worried there, it kind of just says, please channel your energy into something more constructive, because allowing yourself to worry unnecessarily, again, creates blockages. And this can, again, also come with a shield. I'm brought back to the shield yourself. If there's negativity coming from like a family member, someone that you would class as a loved one, shield yourself from that energy and understand that they are protected. They are going to be okay. This is not you to take on their trauma. And to let go of that. I say this again as well because that really, really resonates with these two cards. Go forward fearlessly and self-respect. Now, go forward fearlessly is a card that says you're on the right path. Go for it, move forward, keep going. Fears are basically things that we put in our way that stop us from moving forward, right? They're things that we make up, the ifs, the whats, the buts, the maybes. We don't want to be listening to those. This is paired with self-respect. Now, I would say that this self-respect, like I said up here, this seems as though someone might be crossing your boundaries. And this is why it's saying go forward fearlessly. Stop worrying about what other people say. Stop worrying about what other people are doing. I do feel a little bit sorrow here for you. And this is why I really want you to make sure you are protecting your energy against what other people are saying around you, especially if you have a toxic family member who's trying to drag you into their drama. You're supposed to be moving on your path and going in your direction. It is a time for you to be taking care of self. Up here we have shield yourself. We have self-respect here. And we said you and your loved ones are safe. And then we have forgive yourself if you've done nothing wrong. Time to leave an unhealthy situation. Be gentle. Detach from a situation. All of those cards all mean generally the same thing, especially all put together. It's saying protect your energy. Do not take on any drama or any gossip from external sources. Literally just trust in yourself. And again, if negative energy is coming to you, do not be rash and rushing into, I would say, trying to fix it or jumping and getting involved. So sometimes, for example, a family member comes to you with something and you want to defend them straight away. I would say take a step back, wait for the situation to unravel or be given all of the information, because I just feel like someone's trying to overstep a boundary and maybe they know that you'll be quick to their defense, but maybe they're in the wrong. So that's something to be mindful of. The forgive yourself, you've done nothing wrong means you're doing the best that you can in the situations you've dealt with. So if you do find yourself feeling guilty or feeling anything that's coming from an external source, realize that the way that you're reacting is your beauty. It's who you are. It's in essence your purity, right? And that's something that should be loved and nurtured and not something that should be disliked. I get the sense of a kind of to and fro with loving and hating the self kind of thing here. It's time to leave an unhealthy situation, which does mean drop toxic people or toxic situations. It means drop bad habits. These two paired together, I would say, even as I was touching on that, kind of the loving and hating themselves, this is a bad cycle to be in, of disliking the self. For example, for starters, like you are who you are, and that is beautiful, and that is love, and is purest form of you. You are not like everybody else. That person over there is nothing like you. Your partner's nothing like you. Even when you resonate with someone so much, like, oh my God, we're so much alike, they're not. They are their own energy. And this also can be something that hurts you when you discover that they've made mistakes and you thought that you knew that person, and it can bring you into a downward cycle. I will use myself as an example because I love doing this. It brings it all into a big analogy of myself where I over reveal too many things about myself. But that's how I give guidance, I guess. So for myself, I feel as though I can't trust people, right? What I've been through over the last few years, I've got into this space. I've never really actually trusted people a whole lot. Just naturally, I guess, through my life, that's what I learned. But it was never major. But then now, what I've been through over the last few years, I've got to a space where I don't trust people. But I've been trying to heal this side of myself, right? So I'm like, okay. And I branched out, and I felt like I trusted myself that somebody felt trustworthy. They felt like they wouldn't do me wrong. They felt like I could trust them. Now, I'm not 100% sure, like, I do trust myself, and I think I was right about this person. However, the actions of this person has made me question myself. Like, maybe what if I can't tell if I can trust people now? What if my ability to read people's energies is wounded just like I am, because I've gone through a lot of things? Now I know that there's another person involved, which is I feel like that's what's made this happen, has made that person that I felt was trustworthy become untrustworthy. Of their actions, because the true essence of myself, I feel like they are a trustworthy person, and the actions that have happened to me and how I was treated really counteract how I felt that person would be, right? So for me, this is a dilemma of like, I finally am trying to push myself out to trust people. And I mean, this is not a personal relationship. This was a kind of a professional type relationship, but it gives me this intimate feelings. It's my trust issues being tested, right? I'm finally branching out saying you need to trust and lean on other people. You need teamwork. How can we're humans. We're not meant to be isolated and alone and not accept help from others, right? But that situation has again taught me that I can't trust people. And then I'm like in this whole like, so how am I supposed to fix my trust issues? How am I supposed to learn to trust when I feel so much like I can't even trust myself to trust and to understand who I can trust, if that makes sense. And these are cycles that are unhealthy to ourselves, right? But it's a learning pattern. Like, I know there's growth here, and I know I'll be fine, and I know that one day I will regain that trust and be surrounded by trustworthy people. I'm just longing for that one day, right? But I'm telling you this because this would be an example of these two cards together, is something like that. And it's time to get out of that unhealthy pattern of thinking. Like if for example, my unhealthy pattern would be thinking that I can't trust anybody. Now, I don't think that now, and I am on a better side, like feeling much more positive these days, where I know that it's unhealthy to think that way and that it's good and natural to trust people. And that's the thing. You need to break these patterns to get out of that negative self-doubt, the guilt that you put on yourself. Again, because just trusting someone when you don't, and then them proving you right, that takes a massive knock of self-worth, self-confidence, and everything. It makes you think like, what can I trust if I can't even trust my own feelings, my own intuition in this? And that's the point here. I'm totally feeling that kind of vibes. Now, the next two cards is detach from the situation and be gentle with yourself. So again, I want to remind you that forgive yourself if you've done nothing wrong. You are doing the best you can in the situations that you are being thrown at you. So be kind to yourself. Detach from the situations means that you are in a little bit too deep with your feelings, which is clouding your judgment. That's generally what this card means. Now, paired with this, be gentle with yourselves means don't use that as something to criticize yourself for. Don't use that to be negative about yourself. It's just realizing that I'm feeling really heavy in this. It's not helping my situation. The situation is not getting better. Be kind to yourself. And all the way through this, it's like everything that you go through, be gentle with yourself, nurture yourself through it. This is part of your healing. This is part of your learning. You have created this situation. You have the power to change it. Now, all of this is saying, even though that's true, that we create the situations we're in, be kind to the self, because self-doubting, self-criticism is going to hinder your progress, and it's not going to get you to where you need to be. Now, this is saying really that you're in a position in October to start changing things up. There is definitely a theme that I'm having for October, is that things need to shift and change. The ways that we think things, the way that we've been doing things, the way that we speak, it needs to change, because it's an energy that's just got stagnant and doesn't belong here anymore. And so we are being forced to really face this, and change is definitely an asset for anybody right now to make small changes in our lives. Lean on God and your angels for support. This is essentially saying lean on your faith system, how you connect with the divine. Go through that process that will help inspire you and get those creative juices rolling in order to change your situation. If you are into meditation, I'll give you a few examples. Meditation, prayer, going to church if that's your thing, sitting under the moon, under the stars, getting out in nature, anything that gets you within, thinking, contemplating on your own. Having silent alone time is definitely a must in terms of just listening to what your body needs. It doesn't need to be a conversation. It just needs to be an awareness of yourself, of what am I lacking this at the moment. It could literally be self-understanding and self-love, or not feeling heard. If you're not feeling heard, that often means that you're not listening to yourself, because if you are listening to yourself, it doesn't matter if anybody else listens. You will feel heard because you're honoring and respecting yourself. And that self-respect is there. So thank you, Scorpio, for being here. Hopefully you got through that with this annoying light. It's probably just distracting to me. I'm a bit autistic, so it's just distracting me. I don't like it. Okay, on to Pisces. Pisces, what have we got for you? Okay, that top one. And then that one. Oh, okay, interesting. That one, and then that one. So we start with be gentle to yourself and detach from the situation. We literally just had this in Scorpio as well. So if you do have Scorpio in your sun, moon, or rising, go check, listen to that first before or after this, whichever works for you. Okay, we have a sip of my drink first. I'm losing my voice a little bit. Too much talking for one day. Be gentle with yourself is basically saying nurture yourself. Be kind, and understanding that you may be feeling a lot of feelings right now. This is paired with detach from the situation, which I generally get when the feelings are a little bit too heavy and you're so involved in a situation emotionally that you're not seeing it objectively. This is saying take a step back. And again, realizing that you're having big feelings and that can make you react a certain way that's not the way that you need to react, or that's bigger than the situation needs, right? Sometimes this can literally be feeling really, really emotional, even though the situation is not as bad as we feel it is. But if we stay in that feelings, you're not going to get successful in getting out of that feel. Detached from the situation is getting away from the feelings and looking at it objectively, realizing that everybody in that situation is coming from a place of love, or that what you're going through is something essentially that's going to help bring growth, really, is what I feel like with that Pisces. The next card is go forward fearlessly. So I definitely feel as though, and I don't want to say that your feelings are not valid, because that's totally not what anyone should ever tell you, but it's more go forward fearlessly. I feel as though that it's saying you're allowing worries and feelings to consume you to a point where that's the only thing that's in the way, not the situation, not somebody, but yourself, the feelings and the emotions around it. Now, I'm not talking about suppressing it and letting go of these situations, because that's unhealthy. It's about, despite feeling like that, making yourself get out of bed, making yourself eat better, exercise, making yourself make the right choices. Quit smoking if you're smoking. It's saying the only reason why you are still doing things that are keeping you in a bad situation is self-imposed. And this is asking you, go forward fearlessly means there's a favorable outcome. And it's saying, let go of your worries. You have nothing to worry about if only you would move forward and keep going. Because you have created this situation, you have the power to change it. This is saying that all that you're going through, and it is saying it's self-imposed. And again, it's not saying that your feelings are not valid, but if you allow your feelings to consume you and that be what you're putting out in the world, you're creating the atmosphere that you're in. You are in this situation because you're choosing to do nothing else other than be in that situation. I am feeling perhaps a little bit stagnant depression again. I'm getting energy that you've been through before and it's here again. And again, potentially that could be why, because it's an energy that you know and you're just like, it's about time. Hello, my old friend, welcome back. And then instead you're inviting that energy in. You've created that situation. You have the power to change it, but you allowed it to consume you. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not self-blame. You're being gentle with yourself. It's acknowledging something and working with that energy. Leaning on God and the angels for support. This is essentially connect to the divine and listen to yourself. Listen to your intuition. You're in a very, very, one of the highest intuitive signs. You're literally the complete most spiritual being in the astrology and the zodiac. You have that ability to naturally be able to do that. And again, realizing this, I feel like you need to acknowledge a whole lot of stuff that you've been neglecting. No, I'm not getting at you. It's not like, oh, you've neglected this, but for yourself, neglecting to remember who the fudge you are, which is someone who does go forward fearlessly, somebody who does create their life and kick goals and make those goals and new goals because you're accomplishing all of the goals. Pisces, seriously though, for real, you're on the right path. And this on the right path card, again, it's obviously that you're on the right path, you're going in the right direction, but it's a nurturing one as well. He's holding his hand. The angel is guiding the boy forward, and this is you. The angel is guiding you forward and nurturing you through this next phase. Your inner guidance is real and trustworthy. You really are being said, pay attention to how you're feeling. It is guiding you. It's not meant to stop you in your tracks and make you stay stuck and stagnant. It's meant to guide you. When you feel something negative, it means that it's not meant for you. So when we have depression, it means the space that we're in is not meant for us, maybe. Not, and I don't mean literal, but I can mean literal. If a space is toxic to you and you get depressed in that space, change your space. Move home. Move to a different country, whatever gets you out of that space. If it's not that, it's the job you're in, change the job. It's about really realizing that you need to trust how something makes you feel. If a person makes you feel negative, being in a relationship with someone brings you down, you need to change that relationship. It's not meant for you. That's why it brings you down. Stop having loyalty to the wrong thing. Loyalty is something you should have for yourself, for having the best life that you live by, to honoring your children, honoring the people in your life that deserve to have you in it, not the people that bring you down. And even if it is family-wise, stop keeping yourself in a space that makes you unhappy because of old ways of thinking. Let go of fear now comes. You have go forward fiercely and let go of fear now. I do feel like you're very, 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 very stuck in a thought process pattern that's keeping you hindered. You need to release those worries. Remember that fears are ifs, whats, buts, and maybes are not things that are going to happen or that have happened. They're just potential possibilities, just as much, if not less than, the positives. What about the good stuff that work? What if you do this and it does work? What if you do this and you get connected with family again? What if you do this and good? All them what ifs. Why are you choosing to listen to the what ifs of the bad? Why are they preventing you to have it? Because the probability of the bad happening and the probability of the good happening, there's a higher probability of this than that. You know how I know? Because the human brain is conditioned to go towards the negative as a self-protection layer, because they think that we've been taught that if something feels bad, we should just avoid it because there's a potential hazard there. However, we should know now as humans that those potential hazards, that the only way we've grown is by exploring those. If something is a big danger and it starts feeling dangerous when you do it, you're going to stop. So stop worrying about a potential fear that's not going to happen. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Believe and trust. You need to start visualizing. This is the card of visualization. Visualize, again, goal setting. I definitely feel like Pisces, I've been saying this to you for a while now. You are a goal setter that makes goals, works towards it, and makes it happen. And I feel like you've got out of that pattern for some reason for many of you. This is about reactivating that. Visualize something and then work towards it. That's going to get you to your space. Make a commitment. This definitely in terms of breaking habits, breaking cycles, addictions, anything like that. I mentioned smoking. Make a commitment to doing that. So envision, commit to it. Focus on divine and perfect health, which is totally in alignment with that stop smoking type 1 as well. But focus on divine and perfect health is focusing on self-help, self-love, anything that's going to help your divine being, your soul. It's going to help you grow. Be kind to yourself. Again, we started with the very first card is be gentle with yourself, and we ended with innocence. These cards mean the same. Nurture yourself. Realize that you are a vulnerable being, so be kind to yourself all the way through this. You are going through a lot, is what I feel. So it's okay for you to feel these vulnerable feelings and feel hurt. The only thing that's not okay is for you to let that to consume you and let that stop you from your full potential. And I do want to kick you at the butt, Pisces, because I feel like I've said this to you before, and it feels like a reappearing cycle. I think that's what I'm trying to say. So that's something to be mindful of. Again, forgive yourself. You've done nothing wrong. You are innocent. You are pure. You are doing the best you can with your circumstances. It's now time to work on what's next. Get those goals kicking. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully this lighting's not distracting. It started getting darker halfway through the reading. So if you would have skipped all the way to this. Basically, I started recording. It was light, and it's gradually got darker. I had to get up in the middle and put a light on, and it's terrible. Anyway, guys, thank you for being here. Please subscribe to my channel. I'll see you next month. Hopefully next month I'll have individual readings back up. But for now, I'm hopefully moving by the time we do this next reading. So, new space. Thank you, guys.